Hello, friends. It's Stamp Ventures with Shauna, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. Welcome to my video. Let's see, it is Thursday, January 8th, and it's 10 a.m. here in Saskatchewan. And right now, Saskatchewan is on Central Time, so same time as Manitoba. We don't change, but everyone else around us does. So sometimes we're mountain and sometimes we're central. And if you found me, I'm glad that you were able to locate my video. And I'm just making sure that, yeah, it looks like I'm coming through. And I might even be able to see a comment that comes up as I've linked up here to my iPad. So, my goal for today is to share with you that I am as bad of a procrastinator as anyone, and I often get overwhelmed. And there's this card that I've been meaning to make multiples of for quite some time, and it's easy and it's not going to take me long. And in my head, I get into my head and make it bigger and harder of a job than it really is. And so as a result, I'm like, 3 months late in working on these thank you cards. But I want to show you what it is that I'm doing. And I'm just trying to show myself that really it's not going to take that long to make this. And I don't have to keep putting it off. Now, I already have some things in place for my card. I've got these pre-scored and pre-made note cards and matching envelopes. So this is just a little bit smaller than our cards that are maybe normally a standard quarter sheet size. So yeah, these make it really super fast and easy. But at the end, I'll show you how it looks to have a beautiful option to do a standard size as well. And so that would take a little bit more time adding in the score lines and the cutting. But really, when you're doing 8, it doesn't take all that long. The other thing that has helped me to get ready, so I've cut out a bunch of these beautiful doves from the Peace on Earth bundle, which is unfortunately now retired. But like I said, my goal is just to get this done. Not to worry about whether or not it's current product. Just need to get myself into this and doing it. So the nice thing about this set, this die set that goes with the Peace on Earth, is there are 2 doves. And so it didn't matter to me which of the doves that I used for the focal point. They're both beautiful. So I took my scraps of white paper and just not really very big ones, like ones that, kind of look something like this. And the first thing I did was I rubbed them on the wax paper because that helps to release them from the die so much easier. And then I ran them through my cut and emboss machine 2 at a time. So after 8 passes, I had 16 birds. And actually, I am going to make 16 thank you cards. But for today's video, I'll show you how quickly it takes to do 8. The other thing I had right by my machine when I was cutting these birds was a pokey tool, take your pick tool or whatever. Even with them being brushed onto the wax, sometimes they didn't pop out right away. So I was taking and hitting them against my surface to help. And with this bird in particular, it popped out really quite easily. This one didn't want to let go quite as much. So then I would just go in with the pokey tool and give it a quick lift. And so 5 minutes, it was about 5 minutes and 45 seconds, 5 minutes basically, to do like 16. Actually, there's more than 16. I think I did 18 just in case some of the birds, there was something wrong with them. Yeah, to cut out 18 birds. So that didn't take long. So now I'm just ready to go and assemble all these cards. And I don't think it's going to take me very long. Now, can I turn this on? Look at this. I've got this timer, and I'm just going to start the go button and see how long it takes me to complete all 8 and have them ready to go in their envelopes and to give to the people I need to say thank you to. So as I get started here, if there is something that you've been procrastinating and you find really hard to just get going, let me know, because I certainly understand how that can you can kind of get in your own way when it's something that really shouldn't take all that long. So I just will begin. Let's see, it says go stop. So I'm just going to hit go, and there we go. Starting to count the seconds there. So I'm not going to do this like in a super hurry. I just want to get it done. It's not like I have to race against the clock or anything. So I'm starting with my Misty Moonlight paper, or ink on my paper. Oh my gosh. And speaking of paper, this is what I want the paper for. I'm going to blot off here just so that when I apply the ink, and I'm just touching the surface of my paper lightly and in small circles to build up the color. And I'm probably going to do that twice on each card so that I get a large enough area with a background of blue. So there we go. That's one and that part done, and we're just going to cycle through, and I'm going to be like this top third of the card front here. As you'll notice, I'm not going to tap, because when I tap I tend to get blot, 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 and I want soft, more like a blue sky that the dove would be flying in. So just like that, always blot off to get the blue that is built up on the brushes, that initial amount off, and a second time. And the neat thing about doing this is that you can start to take breaths and relax into this, because it's a repetitive motion, but it's not hard on your wrists or your arms or anything like that. It's just a nice, soft, repetitive motion. And I can see where people who like do crochet or knitting, how they could, just very kind of fall into the mechanics of it, and it might help them to relax. This is so easy, and you could totally do this while you're watching TV or Netflix too. Good morning, Kim. Thanks for hopping on to see what I'm working on here today. I've been putting off these cards for a while. Ooh, there must have been something that caught into my bristles there, because there's a little bit of a mark. Okay, so there we go. That mark, I could probably use one of the bigger, the doves with the wider wings to cover that mark up. It also could be maybe because I'm pressing too hard. When you press harder, you tend to get more, more little blotches and shapes that show up in your blending. There we go. And one more, maybe around like this, some soft circles, just like that. Wow, okay. I think I've only got, is it 2 left? So we're making good progress here. So this part of it is taking about 3 minutes. So that's not too long. Well, it'll be 4 by the time I've done my last one here. So yeah, that's kind of pretty much affirming what I thought, that it's not going to take me long to do these cards, and there isn't any reason why I need to put it off. Okay, last one for the blending brush. So I don't know if you've been following along with Stampin' Up! Lately, but there is a new January through April mini catalog out right now, and I'm looking forward to doing a class next week with one of the stamp sets and die sets from the mini catalog. That'll be the Greenery Lane bundle that I'm using for my class. Okay, blending brush out of the way. That was about 4 minutes. While I've got my ink open, I'm going to come in and do my stamping now. And what I can do to help me think about where I want my placement of my words, I can lay this sample card down and get a general idea of, yeah, I like my words sort of in that spot. So that's handy, just to lay your card down beside. And you'll notice I haven't folded these cards, these card bases yet. I find it much easier and they're much flatter to work with and stamp on if they're not folded to begin with. I'll fold them at the very end. So, oh, and in case you're wondering, this So Very Thankful is from this lovely Delicate Framing stamp set. I think this was released as an online release in November. Okay, so Very Thankful, about there, and I want to, oh, now I'm trying to figure out how is my space going to work. Okay, something like that. Yeah. This was from, yeah, a November release, and it's this beautiful font or script. And I just find it so handy to have a variety of sentiments to work with when I'm making cards. And when I have my class next week, like I'll be putting out the Greenery Lane stamp set, but I'll also be putting out some extra stamp sets with words, including this Delicate Framing one, so people have choices as to what sayings or sentiments they're going to put on their cards at the class. And for anybody who would like to do the class but isn't in the Moose Jaw area, I am going to be mailing out packages of the class on January 19th. So if you would like a class package in the mail, and which will also have a video link with it, you can let me know. All right, so, oh wow, oh, this one I guess I did fold to begin with, but there, I'll flatten that out. Oh, did I take two? No, this was my idea that I was going to show you. If you want to change this card into a regular size 5.5 by 4 1/4 card. So this one here is a half sheet of white cardstock that is, once folded, is the 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I wanted to show you how when you take and put a layer, just like what I've been making here, that wouldn't be folded if you do not have the note cards and envelopes. That would fit really nicely right onto white on white. Looks beautiful and elegant, and it makes a lovely card. That's our regular card size to go in our standard envelopes. So that's what I had this card. So that was quick. Okay, we're at 8 minutes now, and I've been doing lots of talking. So it's really not taking me all that long to make these 8 cards. Now we're going to be going on to the doves and adding them. The new January product of the month will have beautiful scent. Oh yes, Kim. Oh my gosh. Yes. The new product of the month for January is beautiful sentiments. And I have mine on order. I don't know if it's going to come in time for this month's class, but it will be here for future classes, and I will definitely be pulling it out for if people want to substitute sayings onto their cards that they're making. Okay, so I've got, like, what is this? 4 by 3. This is 12. I'm only making 8 of these thank you cards, but I'm going to just put the dimensionals on 12 of them, just because it's I've got them turned upside down, so I might as well ready to go. I'll be already working ahead for the other 8 that I plan to do after this live video. And, you know, normally I build things up with, and make sure I have dimensionals in a few different spots on the backs of my pieces. But I find when you're going to put these mini envelopes, they're not love note size, what do they call them? Note card size, into their envelopes, it can be fairly tight. There's not a lot of give and take. So if I find I don't want to build that up too much, it will just slide in, I think, nicely. And yeah, it is only one thing. So if you want to go and put more dimensionals on it, you could. But these can be a little bit of a tight squeeze in their envelopes. So just something to consider when you're using these. And if you're wondering where they're located to order these and be able to make really quick note cards, they're on page 35 in our annual catalog. So the May 25 through April 26 annual catalog. So, and there's some more good ideas for making quick cards right there featured on that page 35. So they are a good tool to have for making quick cards, or good supply, maybe not a tool. So now I'm going to just start to add my doves, and again, I'm doing this mass producing. Instead of making a full card and then going back and making another full card, it's a whole lot quicker if I do it in these stages like this. And with that nice, soft, misty moonlight that has been brushed onto the card, it makes the dove pop, but it also makes it so it's soft. It's not like a hard, square piece of cardstock on there. All right, and oh my gosh, this part of the card went really quickly. All right, well, and then now we've got, just to have a few little embellishments, I've pulled out my rhinestone gems. And okay, so it's taken me a little bit longer than 10 minutes. I'm at 12 now, but still pretty good because I've been stopping to talk and show you things in the catalog. And maybe before I go to this next part here, just to be on the safe side, breathe, Shauna. Okay, we'll close the ink pad so we don't have any accidents. And on to and again, I'm going to leave these not folded so that it's just easy. I don't have to work around that bump on the edge. Depending on what kind of design I'm working with, I may do that with my larger size cards too, like my regular 5.5s by 4.25. Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, this is looking really pretty. All these doves, and it's kind of neat that there's the two different designs of the doves. I sure like that Stampin' Up! Is sometimes including two of certain shapes in some of the die packs, because that really, when you can cut two things at a time, boy, that speeds up the process. Now, of course, not all my cards are like super simple like this. Certain things that you want to do special designs, really stepped up with lots of layers and ribbon and, birthdays and special anniversaries. But for doing something like thank you cards or something along those lines where you need a whole bunch, it's really nice to have simple options like this that you can produce a whole bunch of them and still not take 2 full days to finish it. All right, okay, so trying to finish off. There's gems in 3 different sizes, large, medium, small, and I think all the ones that are left on here are medium. It's like, oh, I should use up those medium ones there. So I don't have this extra piece of plastic floating around. That's what I do when I start getting to fewer and fewer gems. I'll cut what's left and then I'll stick it in with into another package so that they're all together. Oh, okay. Oh, hang on, not done yet. 2 more here. Stick to the script here, Shauna. All right, there we go. And this is it, number 8. So basically, when I look at my timer now, and it's saying that it's at 15 minutes, and then I add on the extra 5 minutes that it took me to cut 16 of the doves there. It was basically 20 minutes total for me to finish my 8 thank you cards. And yeah, so I'm glad that I got this done, and I'm not procrastinating it any longer. And if you find you're sometimes procrastinating, please know that it's you have probably many people who are in that same company with you. Yeah, what I really need to do now is my next plan is to get into the routine of doing my videos weekly. Now, it might not happen exactly every week, but I'm hoping maybe 2 or 3 out of the 4 weeks of a month that I'll be back to doing my videos here. And they'll be sharing some things that can help make your card making easy and not overly complicated, because that's sometimes what I do, is I try to make things harder than they really need to be. So I will finish off here by letting you know that if you are enjoying card making, that your very best deal for getting the supplies that you need from Stampin' Up! Is through the starter kit. The starter kit allows you to select $165 in product from any of our current catalogs. So there's the new mini catalog, and then there's the annual catalog, and then there's a whole bunch of product that's been released just on our website that you can't find it in any catalogs, any paper publications, but it's all available on site. Any of that can be selected, $165, and you only pay $135 for those items when you're shopping through the starter kit. So if you have questions about that, be sure to ask me about that. I just realized this is my sample card, and this is card number 11, and I didn't grab my envelopes. They're over on another table. But once again, if you've just hopped on and are watching, I did show earlier, this is our standard 5.5 by 4.25 card size. So if you don't have any of the note cards and envelopes, you could take a piece of white cardstock, and I'll tell you what the front dimensions of this are. So it's 5 inches tall by 3.5 inches wide, and you could just stamp on that rectangular piece, do the blending brush, pop on a shape with a dimensional, and it could be glued, or it could be dimensionalized. That would be nice too, to the front of our standard size card, and that looks very elegant and would make a lovely card too. So you have options, mini note sized or our regular size cards for this design, and it's sure a great way to be able to whip off a bunch of cards in a short amount of time. So okay, I'm feeling like I can breathe now. I got this job done, and I can get on with other things now for my day. And my next thing is I need to whip over to my mom's house and help her curl her hair and then get her out to a doctor's appointment. So yeah, I know we've all got lots on our plate, and so if this gave you an idea, helped you get some cards finished up and motivated you in that way, I'm glad that it did. And thanks so much for stopping by to watch. I really appreciate you're checking in with me today, and crossing fingers, I will be back here next Thursday, and I'll have another quick card idea for you, and I'll see you then. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a very good day. Bye for now.